Hello guys, I'm Naval Yamal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this series of SQL, so we are going to start with the very basic, and in this video we are going to start about the self join. So what is self join? So self join is nothing but a regular join. You can call it as a regular join. So it is nothing but a self join is a regular join, but the table is joined with itself. So in some scenarios where you need to join the one table to its own table, then we call it as a self join. So the table is joined itself with the original table, then we call it as a self join. So here's an example, and so I have created a table here. So the link for this creation I'll be giving you. So here you have ID, and suppose let me call this as a table employee EMP table. So here we have an employee ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have a name and the manager ID. So if you look at the ID 1, that is Virat, his manager is third ID 3, and whose ID 3? ID 3 is nothing but Sachin. So here the manager for Virat is Sachin. And if you look at second ID, that is Rahul, his manager is fourth. So who is ID 4? ID 4 is Dhoni. So he is Dhoni. Okay. And if you look at ID 3 and 4, there is no manager IDs as themselves, they are managers. So there are no managers for 3 and 4. But when you look at fifth employee, his manager is also third. So who is third? Third employee ID is Sachin. So he'll get Sachin here. So if I have this scenario where I have to join like one column from one table and the same a different column from the same table, then we call it as a self join. So here we join the same table here. So what we are going to do is we are going to alias this table with two names. So you can name this table as E table, alias it to E, and the next alias it to M. Okay, so we are not doing any different join. It is same as we perform the left join, right join, inner join, and all those things. But the only difference here is we first do aliasing for that table and we start joining it. Suppose we call this table as an alias E and M. So M is your manager's table and E is your employee's table. Now imagine that you have two tables, that is employee having the same records. So I'm going to join. Now let us think on which condition we are going to join. So let us think on the join condition, whether it is a left join or right join or an inner join. We will discuss that later on. So the query remains same, and on which column we are joining. So first column is your manager ID and your second column is your employee ID, that is your ID. So let us go back to our SSMS and see that in detail. So I have created a small table here, similar, and inserted 5 values. And if I just run this select star from the employee table, and this is your table. Now I want to display the employee name and their employee manager. Okay. So for Virat, it should give me Sachin. For Rahul, it should give me Dhoni. And for Sachin and Dhoni, there is no manager. And for Yuvraj, it should give me Sachin. So how to perform this? So let us start now. So I'll just use select. I'll select the column names later on. So from the table name is my table employee. Let me take table employee. Then I'm going to specify the join condition. So join, I will be using this table employee only, and I'll be joining with the same table employee. But here I need to give alias for these two tables. So I'll call this as table employee as E, and your table employee same table as M. I'm doing aliasing for one table with two names, And now I'm specifying the join condition, that is join on manager ID column, which is your right table, and we'll consider this as your left table and this as your right table. So I'll merge it with the employee dot manager ID column equal to manager dot, that is second table, m dot your id column. So now this is your left table and this is your right table. We are going to see the matching columns, that is your manager ID and the ID. Now if you are taking suppose inner join, it will just scan the two columns which is having a common or a matching column. But here if you take a inner join, you will get a records which are matching between these two columns. But I don't want the matching columns, but I want all the columns from the left table, that is your employee table. So I have to specify the join condition, that is my left join. Now I'm going to specify the columns which I want. So I'll specify e dot name, that is my name column, and m dot, that should be also my name column. Okay, because I want the employee name and the manager name. I will do aliasing on these names in a minute, but just let us check what happens if I run this left join. Now you can see that for Virat you got Sachin, for Rahul Dhoni, and for these two you got null values, and for Yuraj you got Sachin also. So you can rename the column names, like you can give the aliasing as, you can say this as the employee and manager name as the manager. Now let me run this. So you can see here employee column and the manager column. So if I, so this is how the self join works. So let me take a screenshot of this. Yeah, now you can see here. So this was our output, this was our input, and if we wanted to get output, if we are joining the same table, then we call it as a self join. Now instead of left join, if I specify the inner join, let us see what happens. Just I'll change this from left to a inner join and run this. So you can see here the matching columns between these two, that is employee and manager, you are getting those two, and you are not getting the values which are null, because on the right column we don't have the values. That's why that two records were ignored and the matching between those two are popped up. So this is how the self join works. Similar to the join, just you need to rename, or you need to alias the same table with two names. I hope you enjoyed this session, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep learning.